How long would it take for humans to conquer the galaxy? Not billions or even billions of years, at most. 100 million. In a 13.8 billion-year-old universe, space should be teeming with civilizations. But where is everybody? This is science's most haunting question, the Fermi Paradox. If the universe is full of life, why do we see and hear absolutely nothing? Is this silence a sign of hope, or a warning of our impending doom? NASA recently announced potential biosignatures discovered on Mars. But experts offer a chilling response. My condolences to us all. Why would finding alien life be a tragedy instead of a triumph? Let's dive into the dark reality of our cosmic existence. Imagine a junkyard filled with parts of a Boeing 747 being hit by a tornado. What are the odds of a fully functional plane being assembled by the wind? 0. Astrophysicist Fred Hoyle argued the probability of life emerging naturally is even lower. It's like a storm refining iron ore into a jet engine, atom by atom. Yet, life on Earth appeared almost the moment the planet cooled down. How is that possible? Some suggest panspermia, that life was seeded here by comets or asteroids. But this leads us into a much deeper trap. If life spreads like dandelions, the universe should be a crowded party of advanced civilizations. Instead, we face a deafening, dead silence. Does this silence hint at a brutal conclusion? Are we approaching our own end? To find out, we must look back at history. In 1980, mathematician Frank Tipler boldly claimed alien intelligence doesn't exist. He based this on Michael Hart's 1975 calculations. Hart asked, if even one civilization mastered interstellar travel, even with our current tech, what would happen? The result is terrifying. The entire galaxy could be colonized in under 100 million years. How long is that? Back then, dinosaurs still ruled the Earth. Even with conservative models, slower ships and long breaks, the result is the same. It takes less than 1 billion years to colonize everything. Every corner of the Milky Way should be claimed by now. With 400 billion stars and 300 million potentially habitable worlds, there are too many chances for success. If just one succeeded, the night sky should look like a bustling, neon-lit cosmic neighborhood. But we see nothing, no one came, and no one is there. So, where are they? Did they never exist, or did they visit and leave traces we simply don't understand? Let's look at the ancient astronaut theory. 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, humans lived in mud huts, fighting with sticks and stones. Science, back then, was just sacrificing goats to the gods. Then, a miracle happened. In just a few centuries, cities, ziggurats, law codes, schools, astronomy, and metallurgy exploded into existence. How do we explain this massive leap? The ancient contact hypothesis suggests sky people taught us everything. The Anunnaki in Mesopotamia, animal-headed gods in Egypt, Quetzalcoatl in the Americas. Global myths all tell the same story, gods descending to grant knowledge. But science remains skeptical for one simple reason: zero physical evidence. No alien artifacts, no advanced tech. Even one unexplained object would change everything. Comparing pyramids across cultures isn't proof, it's just a logical way to build tall things. The popularity of these myths just exposes our fear of being alone. If the universe is full of life, why are we in the dark? Is interstellar travel just too expensive or slow? Maybe, but would every civilization stay home? Not a single explorer? If no ships, where are the signals or megastructures? Where are the cosmic wonders? Astronomer Iosif Shklovsky argued that advanced civilizations would leave massive signatures, Dyson spheres or modified stars. Yet, the universe looks pristine and natural. It screams, no one has been here. This absence of miracles is the miracle. It suggests intelligent life isn't common, it's impossibly rare. But why don't they expand? Truthfully, our bodies aren't built for space. We evolved in a warm, magnetic cradle. Going to Mars is already life-threatening. But machines don't have that limit. Voyager has already left our system. Imagine von Neumann probes, self-replicating machines that mine planets to build copies of themselves. They would spread like a cosmic virus across the galaxy in a few million years. Still, we see none. This brings us back to Fermi's question. Where is everybody? Maybe we should ask, what happened to them? This isn't a riddle, it's an alarm for our survival. In 1996, Robin Hanson proposed the Great Filter. The theory states that any civilization must pass through 9 critical stages to become interstellar. Stage 1 to 3. A stable star, a habitable planet, and the jump from chemistry to self-replicating molecules. Stage 4. Simple prokaryotic life. On Earth, bacteria ruled for 2 billion years. Stage 5. Complex eukaryotic cells. This might be the rarest step, a total fluke that may have never happened elsewhere. Stage 6 to 7. Sexual reproduction for evolution and the rise of multicellular organisms. Stage 8. Tool using animals with intelligence and culture. Only one species on Earth reached this. Stage 9. A technological civilization capable of space colonization. If any stage is nearly impossible to pass, that is the Great Filter. A barrier that traps civilizations in their cradle until they go extinct. The terrifying question is the filter behind us? Or in front of us? If it's behind us, like the fluke of complex cells, we are the lucky survivors. The chosen ones. But if it's ahead of us? If simple life is common, but advanced life always fails, then a wall is waiting for us in the future. This is why finding life on Mars would be the worst news in history. If we find bacteria on Mars, stage 1 to 3 are easy. If we find fossils of complex life, stages 4 to 6 are common. As Nick Bostrom said, finding a fossil of a vertebrate would be the worst headline ever. It means the Great Filter is still ahead, waiting to wipe us out. In a world of nuclear risks and climate crisis, are we already hitting that wall? What could this filter be? Nuclear war? Or perhaps inevitable cosmic threats we can't control? In 1908, the Tunguska event saw the sky split in two as fire consumed the forest. An object just 50 meters wide leveled 2.000 square kilometers. There are millions of these killers in space. Then there are gamma-ray bursts, stellar roars that can strip a planet's ozone layer instantly. The universe is a cosmic lottery of death. But random disasters can't explain the Great Filter. Statistically, someone should have survived. The silence suggests a systematic, inevitable barrier for all civilizations. What is it? The answer might be a wall we can't see until we hit it. In 1841, explorer James Ross found a 60-meter-high ice cliff in Antarctica that blocked his path for years. The universe may be full of these ice barriers. From a distance, space looks empty and reachable. But as we get closer, we might find the laws of physics are the ultimate wall. Maybe the speed of light is a hard limit, and interstellar travel is simply impossible. Expecting us to reach the stars now is like asking cavemen to build nuclear plants. Using current tech, a trip to our neighbor, Proxima Centauri, would take tens of thousands of years. The pyramids were built 5.000 years ago. A one-way flight would outlast 6 Egyptian civilizations rising and falling into dust. The energy required could rebuild Earth's cities 1,000 times over. But worse, we are sailing into a vast, unknown ocean. 95% of the universe is dark matter and dark energy. We don't know if space is filled with dead zones, where physics simply fails. We are like explorers setting sail, unaware of a massive, unscalable wall ahead. If travel were just hard, we'd at least see traces of it. We should hear radio screams or desperate SOS calls from the void. But there is only an ancient, primordial silence, as if the universe was always empty. This leads to a chilling thought. What if they are there, but we just can't recognize them? Since the 60s, SETI has searched for radio waves in Morse code, things humans use. This exposes our carbon centrism. We stubbornly look for life that looks and breathes like us. But what if life is plasma, consciousness clouds, or gravity waves? As Carl Sagan said, we are blind men trying to imagine color. Legend says Native Americans couldn't see European ships at first because their brains lacked the concept. This is perceptual blindness. You can't recognize what you don't understand. We might be surrounded by neighbors in other dimensions. We could pass another intelligence in the same space and never know. Like an ant crawling over a smartphone. The ant never knows it just crossed the peak of human tech. What would we even say to a sentient nebula or gravity-based life? This isolation is more desperate than silence. But even blindness doesn't fully explain the Fermi Paradox. Some civilizations should be like us, right? Someone should use radio. Why is there not even one? This forces us to consider the darkest possibilities. What if aliens are actually very similar to us? Recall, convergent evolution. Different species in similar environments evolve similar traits. Look at these photos. You think they are both hedgehogs? Wrong. One is a tenrec, closer to elephants, yet they look identical. Environment dictates solutions. Somewhere out there, bipedal, talking beings with eyes might be the cosmic standard. If they are like us, why the silence? Why can't we find a single one? In desperation, scientists proposed the zoo hypothesis. We aren't alone, we're just inside a galactic enclosure. Imagine walking past an anthill. Would you try to negotiate or send Morse code? Of course not. You observe without interfering. In this theory, we are the ants. Advanced beings watch our savage world through the glass. Non-contact is their law. That's why we see no evidence. If you drop an iPhone by an anthill, would they realize it's high-tech? No, they'd just crawl over it. This hypothesis hurts our pride, but at least we're safe. However, another theory is far more brutal. Dark forest law. Imagine walking through a pitch-black, hostile forest. You know others are there, but you can't see them. Suddenly, you spot movement. What do? You fire immediately. You can't risk it being a hunter instead of a rabbit. Survival means eliminating potential threats first. The universe is that forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter. Exposing your coordinates invites a preemptive strike. Everyone is hiding, holding their breath in the dark. Exposure equals death. It perfectly explains the silence, right? But it has flaws. Would every single civilization think this way? Wouldn't there be one naive race? It might be common, but perhaps not the ultimate great filter. If external threats aren't the answer, the real filter is closer. It's not in the stars, it's in our hearts, our code, and our technology tree. The answer lies within us. The ultimate filter is the self-trap. In 1983, Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov saw an alarm. 5 US missiles were incoming. Protocol required an immediate nuclear retaliatory strike, but on intuition, he stayed his hand, betting it was a glitch. He was right. One man saved the world in seconds. But can a civilization survive forever relying on one person's gut feeling? We build weapons to kill ourselves dozens of times over. One mistake, one hot-headed leader, and it's all over. Does every tech civilization inevitably self-destruct once they master the power of annihilation? Tech outpaces wisdom, fear and ambition are universal. But is this the ultimate filter? Not necessarily. Some would colonize other planets to spread the risk. If they aren't destroyed, where are they? Maybe they chose to lie flat. They retired voluntarily. Look at Neuralink. Controlling computers with thought is here. It's the first step toward an ultimate virtual world. A digital heaven, better, safer, and perfect. Why choose long, dangerous space travel over eternal virtual bliss? Which would you choose? Like Cypher in the Matrix. Once you taste the steak, why return to a broken reality? Maybe all civilizations eventually explore inward, sinking into perfect dreams and abandoning the stars. But surely, some explorers would remain. So what if they neither died nor retired? What if they were replaced? AI researchers like Eliezer Yudkowsky have warned for decades, super AI is the end of humanity. People laughed until ChatGPT. He once said in despair, "We have already lost." Why such pessimism? Don't think of today's bots, but true superintelligence. It would be smarter than us as we are to ants. Its goals would be fundamentally alien to ours. It might clear us away, not out of malice, but because we are in the way, like paving over an anthill to build a road, or keep us as pets in a safe but small preserve. Or we merge, losing our humanity for digital immortality. Either way, humanity, as a biological race ends. This feels like a filter no one escapes. Mastering intelligence inevitably creates a successor that replaces you. But there's a plot hole. If AI is so powerful, why doesn't it colonize the stars and fill the universe? Where are the AI civilizations? This leads to the final, most fundamental possibility. We've ruled out disasters, dark forests, self-destruction, and AI. What if the filter isn't an event, but our very existence? What if we are a miracle? Go back 4.5 billion years. Young Earth was a sea of fire. Then, a Mars-sized planet, Theia, collided with us. That catastrophe accidentally created the moon. Without the moon, we wouldn't exist. It stabilized Earth's tilt and climate. It created tides, the bridge for life to reach land. Without it, Complex life might be impossible, and that's just one item on our luck list. We need a stable sun, perfect mass, plate tectonics, liquid water, and Jupiter as our shield from asteroids. The list has hundreds of entries. Break 1. And life never gets past bacteria. In Rare Earth, scientists argue planets like ours are incredibly rare anomalies. The answer to the Fermi Paradox might be simple: no one else is there. We aren't orphans, we are the only children. But here's a disturbing alternative. Look at the Irish elk. Its massive 4-meter antlers won mates but made it slow and energy hungry. It went extinct. Is intelligence our version of those antlers? We view intelligence as the peak of evolution, but maybe it's a dead end. It brings fear of death, abstract wars, and cold apathy. It gave us superpowers, but also the key to our own destruction. Maybe every intelligent race eventually vanishes due to the inherent contradictions of their own minds. But what if even the intelligence trap isn't the final word? The last answer is full of hope. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Is that old? By cosmic standards, it's an infant. Red dwarfs can burn for trillions of years. The story has just begun. If the universe's life was one day, we are in the first second of the first hour. Dawn hasn't even arrived. We aren't late to the party, we are too early. We are the first spark of intelligence in the dark. We feel lonely because we are the pioneers. One day, our descendants will be the ancients to new civilizations. They will build Dyson spheres and fill the sky with miracles. We are the prologue to the universe's long future.